Teachers. You know them, you hopefully loved them, you might even be one. They spend their days wrangling sugar-crazed kids and explaining fractions for the 1,000th time. But some teachers, well, they're hiding some serious secrets under those tweed jackets and sensible cardigans. Turns out, shaping young minds isn't enough for these overachievers. They've got to fight interdimensional monsters, wrangle rogue robots, and save the world in their spare time. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to dive into the top 20 teachers who ditched chalk for capes, and spandex, and probably some questionable spandex accessories. First up, we've got Frank, the man who taught me everything I know about being Chet the Rooster Kaiju. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rooster Kaiju? What in the Colonel Sanders lovin' hell is that? Well, let's just say it involves feathers, fire-breathing, and an insatiable craving for birdseed. Frank, bless his sensible shoe-wearing soul, wasn't fazed in the slightest. He took one look at me, giant chicken legs and all, and said, "All right, Smith, let's teach you to use those talons for good." He was like a drill sergeant crossed with a kindergarten teacher. Tough love and patience all rolled into one. Without Frank, I'd probably still be terrorizing all-you-can-eat buffets instead of saving the world. Next, we've got the incredible Mrs. Ray. Imagine this. You're a teacher, just trying to get through your day when a bunch of superpowered teenagers who also happen to be anthropomorphic animals come crashing into your classroom. Most people would run screaming for the hills. Not Mrs. Ray. She saw the potential in our ragtag group, the Smiling Critters, as we so humbly named ourselves. She became our den mother, our voice of reason, and the only one who could make us clean up our messes, which, trust me, were epic. She taught us that with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, cliche I know, but she meant it. Ah, Principal Perry. You know the type. Stern look, always smells faintly of coffee and disappointment. He wasn't exactly thrilled when she found out about the whole students with superpowers thing. But like a true educator, he saw an opportunity. She realized that these kids, these lab rats as they were called, needed guidance, resources, and probably a really good therapist. So she did what any self-respecting principal would do. She joined the team. She became our inside girl, our supplier of gadgets and gizmos, and the girl who could forge a mean permission slip when we needed to save the world during school hours. Chapter 4. Mr. Goldenfold, the math whisperer who whispered to aliens. Let's talk about Mr. Goldenfold, the math teacher who could make even the most complex equations seem exciting, or at least mildly terrifying. The man was a walking, talking enigma wrapped in a tweed jacket. One minute he's explaining quadratic equations, the next he's helping us decipher alien languages using his trusty slide rule. Turns out, beneath that eccentric exterior was a mind sharp enough to rival Einstein's. He joined our little family adventure because, let's be honest, who needs a boring old retirement when you can fight space squids and solve interdimensional puzzles? Chapter 5. Ben's teacher fighting Eon. One lesson plan at a time. Now, I never caught this teacher's name, but she deserves a medal. Imagine having a student who's constantly disappearing to fight a time-traveling supervillain named Eon. Most teachers would just mark him absent and move on. Not this one. She saw the weight of the world on little Ben's shoulders, and she stepped up. She used her knowledge, her resources, and probably her teacher discount at the local office supply store to help him fight the good fight. She was like a combination of Mary Poppins and Rambo, and she definitely deserved a raise, and maybe hazard pay. Chapter 6. The Dean, keeping the critters in check, sort of. Ah, the Dean. The bane of our existence, the enforcer of rules, the guy who could silence a cafeteria food fight with a single glare. He was the last person we expected to join our little band of misfits. But hey, even authority figures need a little excitement in their lives, right? He became our reluctant chaperone, our moral compass. Don't laugh, he actually tried. And the guy who could smooth talk our way out of international incidents. He drew the line at letting us use the school budget for rocket launchers, though. Party pooper. Chapter 7. Steve. From nemesis to... well, he's still kind of a nemesis, let's be real. Steve was never going to be our biggest fan. He was the classic rival, always trying to one-up us, always with a smug look on his face. But sometimes even rivals have to team up to save the day. He brought his brains, his gadgets, and his annoyingly perfect hair to the table. Did we trust him? Not really. Did he help us save the world? Sometimes accidentally? Sure did. And hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Mrs. Slifer. Don't let the cat-eye glasses fool you. Mrs. Slifer, with her cat-eye glasses and perfectly coiffed hair, seemed like the least likely candidate to join our band of misfits. She was all about rules and order, and we were, well, not. But beneath that prim and proper exterior beat the heart of a true hero. She saw the good in us, even when we were being our most chaotic selves. She became our moral compass, our voice of reason, and the only one who could make us feel even a little bit bad about blowing up the science lab. Sorry, Mrs. Slifer. Mr. Feeney, the OG teacher hero. Mr. Feeney, the man, the myth, the legend. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a life coach, a therapist, and a dispenser of wisdom disguised as history lessons. He taught us about life, love, and the importance of always checking your facts. He was there for us through thick and thin, even when we were being our most ridiculous selves. He was the OG teacher hero, and we'll never forget him. Chapter 10. Professor X, taking roll call to a whole new level. Professor X, the OG telepathic teacher. He didn't just teach his students about history and math. He taught them how to control their powers and use them for good. He led the X-Men into battle against Magneto, Apocalypse, and a whole host of other baddies. He taught us that even the most powerful mutants need a good education. Miss Frizzle field trips on another level. Miss Frizzle, the queen of the field trip. She could turn a boring science lesson into an adventure through the human body, the solar system, or even time itself. She taught us that learning could be fun, exciting, and maybe a little bit dangerous. She's the reason why I'm not afraid of spiders, sharks, or the inevitable robot uprising. Thanks, Miss Frizzle. Onaga, from grading papers to ruling dragons. Onaga, the Dragon King with a teaching past. This former high school teacher traded in his red pen for fire breath and a really impressive set of wings. He joined the forces of good, battling evil sorcerers and protecting the innocent. He taught us that it's never too late to pursue your dreams, even if those dreams involve becoming a mythical creature of immense power. Nezu, the principal of UA High School, is a testament to the fact that brains come in all shapes and sizes. This highly intelligent animal uses his strategic mind and unique quirk to help the heroes of My Hero Academia. He's proof that even a principal can be a valuable asset in the fight against evil. Professor Stein, the brains behind the DWMA. He's a brilliant scientist, a skilled fighter, and a walking, talking example of why you shouldn't mix chemicals without proper safety goggles. He joined the fight against madness, using his knowledge and his powerful abilities to protect the world from the forces of evil. He taught us that science can be dangerous, exciting, and occasionally prone to spontaneous combustion. Mr. Miyagi, the karate master with a heart of gold. He wasn't a teacher in the traditional sense, but he took on the role of mentor to Daniel LaRusso, teaching him not just the art of karate, but also valuable life lessons about balance, discipline, and the importance of a good car wax. He taught us that the best way to defeat your enemies is with a combination of skill, wisdom, and a healthy dose of humor. Koro-sensei, the Mach 20 teacher you never want to be late for. Koro-sensei, the tentacled teacher with a heart of gold. He may have been the target of assassination attempts, but he never let that stop him from inspiring his students and teaching them valuable life lessons. He was the ultimate unconventional teacher, pushing his students to be their best, even if it meant trying to assassinate him in the process. He taught us that even the most outlandish creatures can have a profound impact on our lives. Shizune, medical ninja and mentor extraordinaire. Shizune, the medical ninja with a heart of gold. She dedicated her life to healing others. using her skills to mend both physical and emotional wounds. She was a mentor to many young ninjas, guiding them on their paths to becoming powerful and compassionate warriors. She taught us that true strength comes from within, and that a little bit of kindness can go a long way. Miss Bitters, the cynical teacher who taught us to question everything. Miss Bitters, the cynical teacher who taught us to question everything. She may have been jaded and misanthropic, but she was also fiercely intelligent and unafraid to speak her mind. She joined forces with Dib in his quest to expose Zim, proving that even the most cynical among us can be heroes. She taught us to never take anything at face value, and to always trust our instincts, even if they lead us down some strange and twisted paths. Snape, from Potions Master to Double Agent. Severus Snape, the Potions Master with a hidden heart of gold. Okay, maybe more like tarnished silver. He may have started out as an antagonist, but he ultimately proved to be a complex and tragic hero, sacrificing everything to protect Harry Potter and defeat Voldemort. He taught us that even the most unlikable characters can surprise us, and that redemption is possible, even for those who seem beyond saving. Chung Myung, breaking free from the script. Chung Myung, the teacher who learned he was living in a webtoon. Talk about a mind-bending career crisis. Instead of panicking, he joined forces with the main characters to break free from the confines of their fictional world. He taught us that even in a world seemingly controlled by fate, we have the power to choose our own destinies. Class dismissed. Well, there you have it, folks. The top 20 teachers who joined the hero team. They taught us that heroism comes in all shapes and sizes, from mild-mannered math teachers to telepathic mutants. They proved that you don't need a cape and tights to make a difference in the world. Although, let's be honest, the costumes do add a certain je ne sais quoi. So the next time you're tempted to complain about homework or pop quizzes, remember these brave educators who risked it all to save the world. And if your teacher starts acting a little strange, well, they might just be hiding a super secret identity. Class dismissed.